A little over past their prime, but they still are former champs. Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. Don't miss Gary Antuanne Russell, in my opinion, the future of 140. And
I don't even know if dude's gonna even look good. He might have a fucking 12-round war with
both of them might look bad as hell.
We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast, and you're stepping into the Fight Club. And before we talk this PBC Showtime boxing event, Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr., do us a favor, go down, like this video, do yourself a favor, and subscribe to the channel. I'm already like 2 shots in. I'm on my second beer. I'm feeling pretty good right now. But y'all know who this is. That's Paul Pick'em Win'em Concha. And who's joining me for this episode?
Man, what's going on, boys? You already know it's PT, the boxing guru. You already know what's going on, man. I feel like we haven't had a boxing episode in a while. I guess I missed the last episode.
Yeah, no, it's been a little minute, but last fight we had talked wasn't even that good of a fight. It was the Garcia fight. So
yeah, not too much missed there, I guess.
Well, from one Garcia to another Garcia, we have the Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. And before we even talk about this fight, honestly, I mean, this fight should be fun, but the fight that I'm looking most forward to is my boy Gary Antuanne Russell on the main card here. That boy's fucking knockout every fight he's been in. He was on like a 12-fight, first to second round KO spree. So I think he 140. I mean, Josh Taylor, we think he might be moving up soon.
Yeah, and them belts about to go up in the air. So I mean, he could own that division. I mean, it's gonna be a little mix up because Teofimo's up there now. He's about to have his first fight coming up. So I mean, it might be interesting, but definitely, man, he's gonna be dangerous at 140 for real.
Yeah, in his young career, he comes from the lineage of his cousin or uncle, whatever he is, another Gary Russell that was once upon a time that dude.
I think they might be brothers for real, and then the father passed away recently. I think I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is.
But I'm calling it now, bro. Another knockout.
Everyone knows that family, man. They got a deep family in boxing.
The Russells.
Yeah, man. He showed he got talent, so it's gonna be exciting. They open up the card, I think, on Showtime. So,
and he said, he even said that he's gonna have all the belts at 140. He said he will be a title holder of some sort, and I believe it. Like when there's a lot, he's one of my prospects that I think he's the prospect time is over. Now it's time to put your name in that action, and I like him over a lot of dudes.
And right now, he has a good opportunity with that 140 division because he definitely will be able to get his hands on the belt for sure.
2 are vacated right now. Josh Taylor holds 2 of them. He has his rematch with Jack Cotterell coming up soon. So, and then Teofimo's up there. Ryan Garcia might join the 140 team. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's wide open, but there's definitely not a lot of people that are going to be right there in his way.
Regis Prograis up there, but I don't know how long he's staying at 140.
Shit, but man, I just can't wait for him to fight. I've watched a lot of his highlights in his previous fight, but I have yet to watch an actual live fight.
I think also this might be the first fight without their dad, so I think this is gonna be a big deal for the boys when they come out because I think if they're not brothers, they're cousins. I don't know which one it is. It's one or the other. They could be brothers, but he's gonna be in his corner, so that's gonna be interesting to see. They're not gonna have the pops there, the OG, RIP,
Yeah, and I mean he does fight Rances Bartholomew. I have a hard time saying that last name. 29-1-1. So he's no pushover, but everyone walking into this fight we're just here to watch Gary Antuanne Russell do his magic.
Yeah, man, we just trying to see him put on a show.
All right, well then let's get into the real show. The big names on the card, the big dogs on the card. A little over past their prime, but they still are former champs. Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. This is Garcia's first fight at 154. This is Benavidez' second fight at 154, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, both fighters passed their prime. Garcia's last fight was a loss against Spence at 147. Benavidez lost to Crawford at 147 about like 2 years ago. So this is like the Crawford versus Spence sloppy seconds fight. That's kind of what I've been looking at it as.
Yeah, I mean, it's a random matchup. Honestly, when I first seen it, I was not expecting it, but Benavidez didn't really look too good in his last fight, his first fight at 154. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head who he fought, though.
A nobody, Emmanuel Torres, in which a lot of people think Torres won.
That's why I probably couldn't remember it, but damn. All right, well, I mean, I don't know, man. Dude, Benavidez, the thing that what's crazy about him, that how popular and how big he was when he was younger, and like how big of a prospect he was considered. And I mean, he still had a pretty good career though in his prime, and he held a belt at least at 147 and got it snatched by Crawford, but definitely probably didn't live up to the hype he had when he was 16 and winning Gold Gloves tournaments and shit. But
super prospect too. So much hype around his name.
Yeah, man. That's what I didn't realize until I looked more into it that he was the bigger Benavidez, like the hype. And then his David Benavidez was talking about how when he was younger watching his brother spar Manny Pacquiao and all these guys in the gym. So that's pretty crazy, man.
And his dad almost didn't even look at him because he was the ugly duckling of the family. Because Jose was this talent off rip, and you could tell, oh, this kid's nice. Like, this kid's fast, got good hand placement, good footwork. His footwork has always been good, but I mean, all those leg injuries, got shot in the leg walking his cat. Like, I mean, post that man's footwork has not been the same, and I can't blame him. I mean, you got shot in the leg, my guy.
One thing I will give him, he did look pretty decent though in the Crawford fight, even though he did eventually get knocked out. He had a couple good rounds, and he forced him to knock him out. But I don't know how much you can really expect going into this fight. I can't really see him winning the fight. I don't see him winning the fight, but I don't know how much you can really expect from him. I don't even know his age. I can't even remember his age.
They're in their 30s, I believe. I'm not sure, but they're past that. And especially Benavidez, he started so young, where like you start at 16, 15 and shit. Like,
and he's been known to have like both of the Benavidez. They like those gym wars. They got some miles on them already, even though their ages. And then what Danny, I think it'll be interesting to see what Danny can do at 154. It'd be interesting to see him in there with like the bigger guys at 154, even like Fandora. Nah.
You know, that's my thing though. Like, again, Danny Garcia was small for 147. He was kind of small for 140. If we're being real, but like
that was his best class was 140, and
then he goes up to 147. The KO power is gone in that left hook, and Thurman and Spence, who both spent time at 154, coming to 147. He got pummeled by them, and on top of it, they ate all his shots. Like, all those power shots he had at 140 was no longer really a factor at 147.
Yeah. One thing I would say, I feel like he hasn't maybe took too much damage in his fight. Maybe like, because the most I've seen him probably really hurt.
I don't know. Amir Khan was putting some hands on him before.
Spence kind of was like, he did all right against Spence. He wasn't throwing against Spence. That was the biggest problem in that fight. He wasn't throwing jabs. He wasn't really like letting his hands go. And like, I feel like it was like he was kind of just standing there, and it was kind of easy for Spence to work on him. Hopefully we don't see that Danny Garcia, because
that Spence fight though, to me, I mean, he had no shot of winning, but at the same time, that was like a Spence tune-up fight because it was post-accident. They just wanted to get someone in there to see how he would actually like look.
Yeah, but I feel like that just wasn't like, he just fought so different. If any other Danny Garcia fight, he's usually letting his hands go more. So that fight was a little more awkward. I hope he comes out looking different, because that's the last time we seen him. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's had a fight since.
No, that was his last fight was 2020. That was 2 years ago against Spence. But he's moved
Dude
up.
be on TikTok. That's why. Just be on TikTok.
He moved up to 154 now. But my question is to you, maybe I know you won't have the answer for real. We're not in his head, but like, why is he moving up? Why is he fighting again after 2 years? Is it money? Does he want to go out on one more big fight? Like, because does he even have a shot? I mean, I'll say no, but does he have a shot against guys like Tim Tszyu, Castellano, Charlo, Fandora, Lubin, even a fucking Tony Harrison? Like, what does he even have belt motivation, or is it all money motivated? Is it like, I don't know.
I feel like he might have a better chance of getting a belt at 154, even though it is 54 is a deep division. You could argue that could be one of the deepest divisions. I mean, it's arguable, but damn, this shit went up. But 147 is kind of locked up with Spence and Crawford. Yeah. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight once. They're not gonna fight just once. They're gonna have a rematch, and then after that, they're gonna move up, and the belts will go in a free for all. But then there's young guys ready to come up and snatch those belts, because then you got Devin Haney coming from. Eventually guys are just gonna be coming up to that 147, and Danny Garcia is getting on the older side. So I feel like it's probably more like most older fighters, as they get older, they like to move up in weight. So I feel like it could be like that situation. But also, I mean, if you really look at the landscape, I mean, maybe he definitely has an easier shot to get a title at 154. But it is going to be tough, because like a lot of those guys you name, it's going to be tough matchups. But I like him over a guy like a Tony Harrison, or I would like them to see it. Like,
I think that's a 50-50 fight, though. Like him versus Tony Harrison.
Lubin, I would want to see with like a guy like Lubin, but Lubin's still young, and I don't know how.
I want to see him versus Fandora. I want to see a little Danny Garcia versus gigantic ass Fandora, bro. That would be a fucking
that'd be interesting, because Danny does show he has a little chin, so we'll see if he can handle fucking Fandora. And that's another thing. Can he handle the 154 power? We don't really get to see the full effect now, because Benavidez isn't like a true 154. This is on his second fight, so I feel like you won't get the full effect of him seeing what he really can do in that division. But I don't know, man. But I don't know how long Charlo's even going to be at 150.
I mean, everyone we named, I think, beats Garcia. I think Garcia, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I think it's almost money motivated at this point. Jose Benavidez is just a name. You can beat him. I mean, Jose Benavidez is doing it more for the money, because I don't think he has a shot to win here. I think he's on his Jojo Diaz type shit now, where he's just a name that like can fight, and he might go 10, 12 rounds because he has a decent little chin.
Damn.
But even look at his wins. Benavidez is a stat. I mean, his biggest thing was, he's a stat padded resume. 100, and like you really look back at it, the one fight that was actually like a good fight was Crawford. And other than him staying alive for 12 rounds, it wasn't really a close fight. And you can always blame the injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. But Danny Garcia's got names under his belt. He is moving up different weight class. Jose Benavidez at this point, I think he is just, maybe like if he's the Jojo Diaz of this fight, Danny Garcia is the Gamboa of this fight, because he'll get this win. But then after, when he goes and fights the Fandoras, the Lubins, the Charlos, Castellano, he's just going to be a name on the resume.
Facts, bro.
Because he might win. I mean, we can go to our picks now. I think Danny Garcia wins, and I think it's pretty easy win. But I think post this win, there's nothing in there for him. He's just, once he goes past Benavidez, I think he gets beat by any of the top 8, 10 guys, and it'll just be a name on the record of, they beat former 2-time champ Garcia.
It could be a money. I mean, I feel like he has a bigger chance of getting those bigger name fights at 154. So it could be that, and we'll see if he can even muscle up a title run. But I see what you mean. I don't even know if dude's gonna even look good. He might have a fucking 12-round war with
both of them might look bad as hell.
Yeah, so he might just, who knows, man. It'd be cool to see him have a nice, like, if he gets like a nice win and shit, we'll see. But I would have to see what's next for him. But he is in the PBC, so PBC got most of the good 154 they're stacked at 154, so they should be able to give him, but he could be lunch food for guys like Fundora and the younger guys coming up. Like, I guess I can't even call Tenzu the fucking young guys no more. That boy about to have his shot soon. So
yeah, I mean, I picked Garcia. I'm taking points only because Benavidez does have a good chin. Danny Garcia at 154, I don't think he has the KO power anymore. He didn't have it at 147. And if Crawford took 12 rounds to get him out, I don't see Danny Garcia getting him out of there. So that I take it on points.
I was kind of rocking with the decision also, but I never even looked at it like that. That it took Bud 12 rounds to get him out of there. So I don't see Garcia getting 12-round knockout. I would like for him to put on a showcase because I'd be cool to see him, do his thing, main event. Yeah, man, like, you know what it is. He's a classic Philly fighter. He can still draw a crowd. He still got a big name. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but definitely with a guy like Benavidez, he should get the win. I don't see Benavidez winning. I think it should be a clean sweep. I would like for him to get one of them mid-round knockouts. That'll be pretty big for him, especially coming off a layoff for 2 years.
No, facts. But I mean, this is such a disgusting fight that it is exciting. It's almost like when you get like a.
I feel like it's actually a pretty good matchup just because of that fact that it's ugly.
It's like Jets versus Jaguars. Like, you don't know who's gonna win. It's gonna be a slugfest.
Facts. It's definitely like that. It's like just one of those like, fuck it, toss up, see what it is.
And I mean, we haven't done this before, but I thought I'll throw it out there. Two of our boxers on this show, people that we really like. This is their picks, and they're actually split. Bam Bam Rodriguez is rocking with Benavidez, and Spence is rocking with Garcia. So I think Spence is rocking with Garcia only because if Garcia wins, it helps his resume out. It's like, oh, I beat Garcia, and Garcia beat Jose Benavidez. And Jose Benavidez is Terrence Crawford's best win. Like, so I'm the better boxer. Like, it helps his record out. And Bam, I think, is rocking Benavidez because the Mexican. Like, I mean, I'm Mexican too. I
think I could be wrong. They might come from like the same area, same camp, like that. It could be like that Texas shit. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's why Bam is probably fucking with the Benavidez boys. But Spence is probably just. I know Spence fucked with Garcia before they fought too, so he probably just dick riding for real.
Shit. Well, it's all going down in Brooklyn. I swear, Brooklyn gets all the fight. What's up?
We got any boxing news on deck? I don't know if we do.
I can pull up something really. I think I might have something.
I know Teofimo fights coming up.
Pedro Campa. That's been Adrian Broner's fights coming up against Figueroa. Before it even got finalized, we were talking that fight. So we're on that.
You called it, bro. You called it before I even heard about it for real. And I was like, damn. Right when you said it, that night I started to see shit about it.
But other than that, I'm trying to think. I know boxing, there hasn't been much. I mean, we're still waiting for Crawford and Spence to do their shit. I know Haney versus Kambosa. There's inching closer to a deal from what I'm seeing coming out. And
I seen some shit where they signed it, and then Devin Haney was saying that he didn't even do none of that. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's been conflicting. I mean, Kambosa's came out yesterday. He said, yeah, Devin Haney beat the fuck out of me. And then he followed that up with, but I beat the fuck out of you at TFP. Damn. Yeah, so that's always fun. And then the only other boxing news I can think of off the top of my head is Usyk Joshua is getting closer. And then what was the other big fight that is coming?
Triple G, Canelo.
Triple G and Canelo is getting closer. They're getting heated. They don't like each other.
One thing I'll say about Devin Haney, 'Cause I think we was talking about it in the group chat. What I noticed when Kambosos won the belts that night on Teofimo, everybody on Twitter, Garcia, Tank, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, give me Kambosos. I want him. Let me get the title shot." Everybody was asking for the title. "Oh yeah, let me get him. I want Kambosos." Now that Devin Haney won the belts, no one's talking like that. Tank quiet.
You heard Floyd said Shakur Stevenson should fight Haney. Leave Tank's name out of this. What does Tank have to do with this division and these titles?
Yeah, what the fuck does he got going on with that? He don't belong in that conversation. Man, that's crazy.
And then Leonard Ellaby, just 2 days ago, I was this close to quote retweeting Leonard Ellaby. I mean, I did quote retweet Leonard Ellaby and say something, because then someone, Paulie Maglione, he was just saying Tank can never be that guy because he doesn't have belts. Look at the boxing now. And then like Leonard Ellaby's defense to, he doesn't have any real belts was, no one needs belts nowadays in boxing. I was just like, bro, Tank is never getting a title shot. Let's look at who's around him. People are telling him like numbers mean more than legacy. Okay, enjoy all the money in the bank, but like you're gonna have a Deontay Wilder type career. Like mine is actually being a real belt holder.
Nah, bro, that shit is crazy. That shit is mind blowing, bro. When Floyd said that, bro, I couldn't believe it, man. And he really is out of the conversation.
I mean, at this point, I was so anti-Garcia, and at this point, I think Garcia beats Tank. I'll be on. I mean, we saw Rolly win a few rounds using his reach advantage, and he was such a young fighter. I think Garcia just does the same thing, but him being so much.
Yeah, that's one thing I would say. Garcia is so much bigger than Tank, and like Garcia looks like he's just getting bigger, and like he's just gonna fill out his frame, and he's not
going nowhere.
He got and his reach, speed, and he got power, and I feel like he might just get stronger because of his frame, and like he's gonna grow into his body. He's still pretty young. He's still gonna have power, and he looked real good in his last fight. And he looked really good. He's younger than Tank. It sucks because I would say right now I would pick Tank right now, but the problem with it is it's really whoever is gonna hit each other first, bro. Whoever is gonna hit, like, who's gonna hurt the person first, where they got to make the person respect. Because Garcia showed he can get hit. Tank showed he can get hit. Tank showed he gives up rounds. Can't really give up rounds with Garcia because Garcia could use his jab and his hook.
Reach.
And, yeah, like that. I don't know if that would be the smart idea to give up rounds on Garcia. So that would be an interesting matchup. I don't know, man. Garcia did look good though his last fight. I'll give that to him.
No, but I mean, something's got to happen. I don't care if it's 135, 140. Because even if you go up to 140, Josh Taylor's sitting there, Jack Calderell's sitting there. Like, there's names.
Or like, we'll never ever see Tank versus Loma. I bet. I used to always want to see that fight, but I bet money we'll probably never see that.
That's big news. Loma is coming back. His first fight will be scheduled, I think, in November.
They say who?
They didn't say who, but I said, in my personal opinion, this is perfect timing because he can get his it gives time for Shakur Stevenson to he wants to go undisputed at 130 or whatever. He has the time to go undisputed. It gives Haney to get his rematch in. Loma gets his tune-up fight in. And then after his tune-up fight, he goes and fights Haney for the belts. And then whoever wins that fight, I mean, you might get a rematch. But as all that's going on in 135, Shakur Stevenson goes and unifies and undisputes 130 before he moves. It gives that time before Stevenson enters the frame. I think it's perfect.
It's going to play out perfect, bro. And then you got, oh, man, bro, that shit is going to be perfect.
Yeah, because like his tune-up fight's going to happen around the same time as the rematch for Kambosos Haney. So then right after that tune-up and rematch, we get, I mean, unless Kambosos wins, but I don't think so. But we'll get that Loma versus Haney fight that a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yeah, or unless Haney says fuck it and drops all the belts after that second win. But I doubt that, though. I don't know if he'll move up that quick, but I would love that. Haney versus Loma, that would be awesome.
And then let Shakur Stevenson move up to 135 and maybe fight
the winner of that.
maybe even before fighting them, get like a tune-up fight against.
Yeah, he'll probably have to get a tune-up.
Yeah, get like Cambosa's off the L. Maybe Garcia steps in, or like I doubt any of those big names will come in, but you know what I mean. This will be a good fight.
Tank Davis.
Tank, shit. But man, that's been boxing. We're tune in for the Brooklyn PBC Showtime event. Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez. We're both rocking with that boy Danny Garcia, and we both see it going the full 12 rounds. Boy. And don't miss Gary Antuanne Russell, in my opinion, the future of 140, and that includes Haney moving up. Just so y'all don't know. Yeah. But this has been Totally Blitzed Podcast. This has been the Fight Club. I'm Paul Pick'em Win'em Concha, and I was joined with Marcus Primetime, Pete T. Penley, and shit, if you didn't know, now you know, motherfucker.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you could call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't nothing new.